I have an experience to share. It actually touches on an experience I shared on one of the first ever Skypes I came on. It was the open Skype, same as this one, and it was the first, again, one of the first, I think maybe even the first one. I had an experience where Kevin came into my backyard and gave me this scroll that when I opened it, it shined like the sun. And the very first sentence on that scroll said, "The sun shining is the best reference to the isness." Now, isness had like probably 12 S's in it, and on the first and the second part, and then the sun was like SUUUUUUUN. It was a lot of U's. It was something, not literal. And many ways, that whole sentence shined even brighter than the scroll itself. And then there was all these other words below it. And so anyways, touching on that experience again, I'm not sure if it was the Galaxy or Skype or which Skype it was, but I was listening to the experience being shared, and all of a sudden I was taken back to that experience, and I was shown the scroll again. And it was the same way. The scroll lit up, and I could see the words, "The sun shining is your best reference to the isness." And I remember when I had that experience first, I would always try to figure out what the words below that said. I would try to go back to the experience, imagine it, or try to look at it, and I could never figure it out what the other words said. That was the only line that I remembered. And it finally clicked with me again when I was listening, and I was taken back to that experience, that it doesn't matter what the other words said. And because for a while I had just let it go, and I kind of forgot about the experience in a way. But as I was shown it again in this moment, as I was listening, I could recognize and see how simple it was. It was almost like a little even test. What was I going to pay attention to? The words, the literal information below, or the real reference being provided? And so I was kind of looking at that, and I kind of laughed. I had to laugh to myself because it was so cleverly simple and so obvious, and yet it took all this time to recognize that all that other information doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you could say, like, an expression at the end of the day, the best reference is the sun shining to the isness. And that's, if you can center in that position and, focus on that and really look to that and recognize, even as it's been referenced by Duane and many others, that what the sun is showing you, then you're kind of on your way. You're figuring it out, because that's something beyond the literal mind and senses. So I just wanted to share that with everybody.
Yes, the adding of the letters, especially 3, okay, yeah, it confuses the literal mind. It's kind of funny at first, but it confuses them as they write, and it's like, why is he putting these in sentences that we write? Well, again, it kind of disrupts that literal routine that people, as they collect information, they become the know-it-alls. And it's like, oh, I've read this before, I know this before. So what they've done is they've locked themselves into their literal routine, and they're not willing to research, okay, here's a word, what does that mean? And you can't find it in the dictionary anywhere else or whatever. No, it applies to your real awareness. And that's the fun part, is to go on this new journey. It helps you do that. But people have to get used to it. That's the new language. So that's cool that you are shown that. Yes. In other words, it's more than what we consider. That's what the 3 and more letters imply. It's not what we consider. It's more than what we consider. And realistically, with our literal mind, we can't consider it. So that becomes the real journey. Yes. Thank you, Jeremy.